All right, Reusse Unchained, SKOR North. We will get to some big pitching matchup tonight at Target Field, so
Yes,
we'll
there
get to
is.
some Twin stuff. But Summer League yesterday in Vegas, the Timberwolves and the vaunted Pelicans Summer League team, and Joan Beringer, the 7-foot, 18-year-old kid they drafted from France, Pat. He blocked 7 shots in 23 minutes, including the first 2 shots of the game yesterday.
Yes, and a couple times it was on one possession he blocked two, right? It
Yes.
was, I
Yep.
mean, he kept blocking them away. But here's the deal: if there's any if there's any evidence of modern communications and modern access, it's summer league. Remember, like 5 years ago, hey, one of their games might be on TV. Let's watch it now. Now they're all on TV. I was looking at the TV schedule. Every freaking summer league game is on live television as though they actually mean something. It's incredible. It really is. It's the NBA. They got the summer league might be getting better ratings than some of their playoff games. People are more interested in seeing this kid block shots than they are watching an actual game. It's incredible what summer league has come. It's and of course for all the writers who have to be out there, if it was okay, it's 120 in Vegas, which means you have to be indoors all the time, and that's where all the gambling is and stuff like that. But anyway, it is a phenomenon of modern times, I'll tell you. Don't you think the summer league is
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's and so Cooper Flagg, made his debut yesterday. A 5 for 21. So it's a
okay?
huge
Another
talking point now.
Leitner the second, another big, an overrated, another overrated phony with a crazy mom. It's another one of those. Although this kid's 18, right? Has he turned 19 yet?
He is younger, right? Cooper
Yeah,
Flagg.
didn't he go to
He
18.
turns
college one
19 in
year?
December.
Wow.
Yeah, December
Turned
21st.
19, and this Leitner was a 4-year senior, when he came out, and he was still a putz. But I always talk about having the opportunity to be there when out in San Diego when he was introduced as a Timberwolf at the press conference, and somebody asked a question, and his mother was in the back, and she got mad at the question and started barking at at the reporter. It was great because we were in this small room, and mom was answering the questions. It was fantastic.
So,
Anyway,
Patrick, all that you need to know about this is ESPN would rather
yes,
carry multiple every summer
multiple.
league game that they
Yes.
can than be stuck with a regular season July baseball game.
Oh,
That's
that's
all
right.
that you need to
That
know.
is that is absolutely true. It's
Hmm.
it's unbelievable, and you know, it's I mean the baseball. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention to Sunday Night Baseball to realize that it was Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, Dodgers, and nobody else for like years. The Twins did the last time they had been on was when they were hitting all the home runs. Was that 2019? Was that basically the last?
2020 during the pandemic was the last
Okay,
time they were
yeah, they
on
were
Sunday
stuck
night.
with us, but and the fact that they're bailing on baseball is probably another reason that they don't give a damn if they ever show another baseball game or not. But it all started with John Skipper, by the way. That when you hire a guy, when they started putting soccer scores from Europe on the crawl, that was the end. That's when American sports went completely to hell. When we started putting, Bayern Munich wins some damn regular season game, and that was. I don't know why Trump's closing the borders here and trying to do all this thing. He doesn't try to do something about soccer. Try to keep
Let's get our
soccer.
Get our priorities straight.
keep
Bundesliga
soccer.
scores on the bottom. It should be
Yes,
the number one.
out.
If
Yes,
someone
get rid of.
campaigned on that alone, they would have
Yes,
a chance
we're
to.
gonna
Yeah.
start. We're gonna start putting a tariff on Bundesliga if we keep putting their scores on the thing. But yeah, it is. It's it's fantastic that what the summer league has became. It just gives me a headache. I can't believe it. I mean, it's fine. I don't mind watching 10 minutes of a game, but they last year, did they get us excited about the young guys last year who then sat there next to Finchy for
Oh
like
yeah.
all season?
Well, part of the
You know,
problem last year is Rob Dillingham was the main attraction last
yeah.
year, and he shot like 30% in summer
Hmm.
league and was kind of a disaster. And then yesterday, all right, here we go. He's had a full year of development. He's
Yes.
been waiting to unleash all of these things, and he shoots 28%. He makes one shot inside the 3-point line with like 6 or 7 turnovers or whatever it was. So it was bad.
What are they going to do if he can't play?
Yeah, I mean they're
What's
right
their
now they're banking a lot on him being part of the rotation, but they still have
yes.
two open. They've got two open vet minimum ish roster slots, and there's guys like Malcolm Brogdon. Like there's some players out there still.
Yeah,
So
they're gonna have to get one, don't you think? I don't know. Can he guard anybody? I don't know if it's
you know what? He poked a couple. He got his hands on a couple of passes, and he poked the ball away yesterday. He was a little more than a traffic cone yesterday,
okay.
so we'll give him
Now
that credit.
I read Heinz Gamer today. He didn't give much pub to Leonard today. Didn't Leonard have a good game too? Don't we
He was
like
okay.
Leonard?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he
had
can he's
14.
he's pretty skilled. He's
Yeah,
pretty skilled.
people like Leonard who watch him, and he's getting all talked up all the time by his teammates, but he never gets to play either. So, and now when we're talking about adding the young guys to the rotation, he isn't mentioned. 25-year-old Terrence Shannon's getting mentioned, but not poor old Leonard.
Yeah,
I'm
and
anxious to see Leonard because my guy Kunze, Terry Kunze, Mr. Basketball, loves Leonard from watching him when he was 17 some damn place. So
yeah. Well,
anyway.
Chris Finch he joined for I don't know like 4 minutes on the broadcast yesterday, and they did ask him about hey Nikhil's gone the rotation, and he jumped in and said yeah I'll be playing 9 or 10 guys a much more expanded rotation this year. Now it is July 11th,
Yes.
and we'll see what happens when the actual games start. How comfortable he feels with some of these guys.
You think he might be getting some instructions on that from Boss Connolly too? That we want to see if
Yeah.
some of these guys can play or not. I would not. I would not bet against that. That's part of it also. So
Yeah.
uh,
Uh, Tonight, Paul Skenes, Joe Ryan,
not
Target Field.
bad. Not bad. They
Let's
had to
go.
move it. It isn't it interesting though. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but in this era when the starting pitcher in the All Star game only goes one inning, numerous times we've had the starter pitch on Saturday and then pitch the inning Tuesday, right? Since it's a day you throw anyway, if you're in the traditional five starter rotation. Now, I was told, you guys might have been told this too, that the Twins were told that if Ryan was going to be added to the roster, he had to pitch on Friday.
Oh.
That's because
Ooh.
that's what I was told. That they
so
told that was part of
yeah,
the deal.
there was some embargoed information that Ryan was going to be announced as an All Star replacement, but it was also it was widely known, or right even like going into that afternoon, that the Skenes Ryan matchup had already been moved to Friday. So that I mean,
Yes.
and then that was that. By the way, like that was on MLB.com for preview and ESPN. So like the information that Skenes versus Ryan was coming was already kind of known, and then they made it known too that hey, he's probably not going to pitch on Saturday now as scheduled. We'll probably move him up a day. But I did not know about what Pat
Well,
said.
I like it.
that's what I was told, that because they didn't want any, because he is going to be their eighth pitcher, and they didn't want any questions about his availability. So on Saturday, so they told him that he had to pitch Friday. So, but we've gotten so paranoid about pitchers now that they got to pitch, remember the guy on Sunday has gotten eliminated, right? The guy, they take him
Right.
off the roster now, the guy who starts on Sunday.
Yep.
But now that's moved to Saturday. Apparently, you have to, if the guy pitches on Saturday, he can't pitch in the All Star game now. So pitchers have turned into sissies. That's what I wanted. They're
They're
all a bunch
soft.
of, they've been made soft. They've been
It's the
forced to
teams.
be. Yeah, it's the
It's not the
teams.
pitchers.
They've
It's the
been
teams.
forced. Yes, but they have dealt with they're so paranoid about him, and that doesn't keep many healthier. Does it keep them healthier? No, doesn't.
We
They
do Tommy John at the drop of a hat now.
yes, we do.
Oh, you got
We
some pain?
do.
Let's go in there and take a look at it.
Yeah. So babying them hasn't helped that much through the years,
Hey
but
Pat, in the target field era, can you remember we talked about this on the show yesterday? Starting pitching matchups that excited you. So not games that turned
oh
out to
God,
be
yes.
fun. I can't think of because the Twins have had such a dearth of like really quality starting pitching for some of that period. I couldn't think of one that had a matchup akin to this.
No, probably not because of Skenes, and
Right.
then Ryan's good. But Skenes has gotten the attention, and half of it is based on his girlfriend. But that's part of it. It is
It
it
is.
is astounding though that he's won one game in the last however many starts with a 1.9 ERA or 1.6 ERA or something. But I was thinking about that same thought last night that we don't go to the games anymore based on who's pitching. And that was, hey, we go back to Johan.
Hmm.
I'm going to the game tonight. Johan's pitching. When's the last time we did that? I mean, that was, in my youth and when, the first 30 years they were here, a lot of if a lot of whether you went to the game or not was based on who the starting pitching was, because guess what? You had a fighting chance to see him pitch 8, 9 innings instead of five and a third when he got to 92 pitches or something like that. So yeah, I mean the starting pitcher was part of the attraction of baseball, but now it's just, hey, there's a game and the Cubs are in town and I get to wear my Cubs equipment. And I think that, you know, the huge change in sports and baseball and all of them is everybody. We used to go to the ball game to see the players.
Yeah.
Now we get in our jerseys and go to a game. Take your jerseys, put a shirt on, and go to the game. What the hell? I don't get why. I can see kids, even guys your age, but 80-year-old guys are waddling around wearing jerseys. What the hell is this? It's guys my size, big fat guys wandering around wearing a jersey like they're players, for goodness sakes. I
I mean,
don't.
you've nailed the pitching thing, 20, 25 years ago, whatever,
Yes.
baseball's last heyday in the
Yeah.
late 90s, early 2000s. If Randy Johnson or Roger Clemens or Pedro Martinez, any of these guys,
You had to be
I
there.
think people showed up because and
Yes.
Johan, if you had one on your own team, and I feel like Rob Manfred has spoken about they're aware that that's a problem, and I think that's why they've been kicking around ideas for, all right, are there ways that we could keep starting pitchers, mandate that they are in a certain amount of time, but how do you police
You
that?
can't do that. You can't do that. I went over last night and saw this Rea pitch for the Marco Rea pitch for the Saints, and he's pretty good. He was fine. He went six last night, but he was terrible early this year.
Hmm.
But the number of innings he has on his resume is incredibly minimal. At this point, they were nursing him along. They were making him as a starter, but he is being trained to pitch five and a third.
Yeah.
That's it. That's you don't worry, Marco. You're never going to have to face the lineup a third time. That's the worst thing that's ever happened to starting pitching
Hmm.
is the idea that now obviously the great ones are going to face the pitchers a lineup a third time, but that's the biggest change of all. You know,
So
Simeon Woods Richardson can go through 18 batters on 2 hits and 4 strikeouts and not face the batters the third time.
So in the minor leagues with a few of their teams, I heard this on the pregame show on radio a couple weeks ago, Pat. They're actually experimenting with 4 days off instead of 5, but the pitcher will go in with a projection of what, Dex, like to pitch 4 or 5 max?
4 to 5 max and like 50 to 75 pitches.
Well, I think they're training them not to face a lineup the third time. Is that basically it? They'd rather have a guy pitch 4 innings.
Probably part of it.
You know, I mean, that's what this Travis Adams has pitched like that all year, right? Pitched on the 4th day, but never going more than 4 innings. So that's some genius thing we have come up over there. But
and that's the thing, because it's funny. Theo Epstein's been very public about this, because as a front office leader, his job was to optimize the best way to win a championship or games. And now that he's been helping out the baseball front office, it's about, okay, how do we make the most entertaining product? And maybe a pitcher not facing a lineup for the third time more often than not is optimal to win a game, but it kills the household name value of your best pitchers that aren't out there and pitching 7-8 innings at a time.
Yeah, it does. But then again, I'll say one thing about this Rea guy. For instance, when you look at his numbers for the first 2 months, normally, if in the baseball I grew up with, they would have sent him back to, Timbuktu or something.
Yep.
But it was based on the stuff, and they thought he could develop the stuff, and they let him pitch 3 1/3, and now he's had 5 out of 6 starts have been good, and but he's still he's going 5-5-5 and then 6-6. But a lot more of how they're evaluating these guys is what they see in his pitches, not the results. When they're in the minor leagues. So it's it's a science that has escaped me. I'll tell you that. So all I do is, like every other old guy, bitch about it, but it's here. It's here.
Expected results is the buzzword of the last 2 years in the Twins club. Well, my expected average, my expected batted ball, it's all expected. Your expected result, not your actual. What was the result? It's expected.
And when Carlos hit into that double play the other day, I said, "Oh, please tell me how hard he hit that ground ball for his 28th double play ball of the year, right at the shortstop." This idea you can't aim the ball. Well, yeah, when you're hitting ground balls, you can aim them a little bit, and but it drives. Well, he hit the ball hard. That's 3 hops to the shortstop. We don't care how hard it is. In fact, I heard yesterday at the Saints game them say that ball was hit 101. It looked like a routine ground ball to the shortstop where he went to get it. And they said that ball was hit 101. The exit velocity on ground balls meaningless, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, I believe Rocco likes to call it pull side ground balls are baseball death. So no matter really what the exit velocity is to a degree, pull side ground balls are baseball death.
Because they got the shortstops.
Because they got or a lefty
shading a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, not as bad as when we let them play on the other side of the base. Although they're cheating on that. Carlos is basically 1 inch away from being on the other side of the base half the time when the left-hand hitter's up there. So, but it's better. I mean, it's better than the full ungodly shift that they were in.
The third baseman being in right field was one of the most disgusting affronts that happened in baseball history.
Yes. And
Manny Machado playing against the right field line made me want to puke.
And Max Kepler, 15 points of his batting average career-wise because of that.
Max ain't exactly tearing it up with the Phillies.
Yeah, how is Max doing?
Not well.
He's not too happy. He said he was supposed to be the starting left fielder and playing every day, and he kind of voiced some frustration last week about it.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah,
I hope they boo him.
But by all reports, Max still has a good life, so who cares? Hey, no, but tonight it is interesting to me. Will this pitching matchup draw people?
It's the walk-up sales tonight.
Yeah.
What's the walk-up?
Yeah, because we'll see if it actually matters or not. But tomorrow we have the Buck bobblehead and the Buck truck bobblehead, right?
Yep.
They will be last. What was the one they had 6 weeks ago or so, a month ago?
Yeah, that was
They
the
were
Royals.
lined. They were lined up to
Royce.
the end of Target Center on the Royce Lease one,
I think it was the
Royce
Royce one.
Lewis one,
Mhm.
3 hours early.
Talking about
Where
this one,
will they
boys?
be lined
Oh,
up?
look
for
at
the
that. There it
one-
is.
Here it is, Pat.
Where will they be lined up for this one? They'll be back to the Star Tribune build. They'll be back to the.
Oh yeah.
On
You know,
94.
that'll draw.
Oh,
But
yeah.
only 10. Don't you think if you're going to give those away and people line up that you shouldn't? That if you show up, okay, we're going to give away 10,000. But if you're in that line, we'll mail you one. Somehow. I think if you stand in line for 3 hours and don't get a bobblehead, you're losing a lot of PR value of giving away bobbleheads. But
And you're right. And the Twins, if nothing else, they definitely are great at keeping their PR value high as a franchise. So
I even got the Blue Sky crowd fired up yesterday because they're 20. Well, I don't know. They might have moved up because of the Cubs crowd yesterday, but they're 25th in attendance this year, and they are ahead of Pittsburgh, a horrible baseball town forever. They're really good when they're winning World Series. Outside of that, they don't care. Tampa, Sacramento, that are playing in minor league ballparks, and Miami, which is the worst baseball town in the history of mankind.
yeah,
And who else they had?
White Sox?
the White
No,
Sox
the Mighty Whiteys. Yeah,
and
they're
maybe
ahead of the
Kansas
Mighty
City
Whiteys.
might have been down there
No,
too.
they're ahead of Kansas. I know Kansas City was a little bit ahead of them, but
Okay.
yeah, the Mighty Whiteys coming off 121 losses, kind of took a little of the vibe away there. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Yep. So, maybe stay out of the
You know,
bottom
you know,
five with
you
a
know
nice night
what
tonight.
should have been a national story, and it really wasn't though. In the old days when all the newspapers and everybody had baseball writers national. They would have flocked to Colorado to see the Whiteys Rockies series. Wouldn't everybody have come to watch that? Because it was.
You
I
know
mean,
that was a
it,
nationally televised game on MLB Network over the 4th of
yes,
July, right?
yes.
Was Rockies White
But
Sox.
I mean, this is like the New York Times would have sent Tyler Kepner that one, for goodness sakes, wouldn't
Yeah.
they? The Rockies and the Whiteys. Let's go here.
I love that. Let's do it.
Who's
All right.
going tonight? Who's gonna?
Judd and I will be there.
Judd will
I'll
be there.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll be there. Oh, yeah.
I'll be
I'm
there.
not gonna miss this
All
one.
right. All right.
Me,
All right, Pat.
Livy. See you,
Have a
Pat.
good weekend,
Enjoy.
fellas.
Yeah. Is she gonna be there?
I don't
Does
know,
she
but
travel these games?
if she isn't, I'm sure we'll be talking.
I'm sure Livy Dunn and the Sports Dad have a lot
Yep.
to
Yeah.
discuss in
Yep.
life.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, right.
I'm gonna
Okay.
say your boyfriend's got no personality. Okay, I know he's
No.
good at sports, but let's find a guy with personality.
Let's hype him up.
That ain't gonna work, by the way. She's gonna get out to Hollywood and get better options than this guy.
Well, maybe he gets to in like a year
He
when they
does
trade him
get
to
to
the
Hollywood.
Dodgers, then they can both go together.
He's a dead
maybe.
ass, though.
Yeah, no, yeah, he is. It's
He's a
not gonna
bore.
work. She's gonna have too many.
Tom Brady,
suits.
perhaps.
Well, no, who wants him?
I mean, he's been tied to what's her face.
So is it Sophia? Yeah, Vergara. Yeah.
No,
well,
Sydney Sweeney.
Well,
What?
oh,
He was
is
just
that
tied
it?
to Sydney
Tom
been
Brady
tied-
and Sidney Sweeney?
He
yes,
was just
Dakota
tied to her.
Johnson, Sydney Sweeney. He was hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Sophia's the
He's
one
been
though that
watching
is.
too many risque movies. What's he do? He watches risque Euphoria or something and say, "I want to date her."
Tom Brady, Livy Dunn. Hey, Livy, let's go
Right.
out. I'm only 50.
Amazing.
Yes. All right.
All right, Pat.
See
We'll
ya.
see you next time.
See ya.
Reusse
Goodbye.
Unchained, SKOR North.